This is YouTube right here. All right. Check me right there right now, okay? That's where I'm at. All right. See you all there. Thank you. I don't know how to do that stuff, man.
Yeah, I don't either, but we're learning. Let's see
Yeah.
if we're there yet. Okay, okay. All right, you ready? Either way, they'll be able to see the repeat of it, and then you could download it and put it on your channel too.
Okay.
So we're live already. So hello, hello. I am Brigitte, and today I have a special guest. This is someone that I met when I started doing TikTok. For those of my supporters that know, I no longer am on Facebook. And I went to TikTok, and this conscious guy I saw, I was just looking at every post that he made because he felt so simple, transparent. He resonated with my energy. So I kind of like asked him immediately, please, one day, could you please go live with me? And he's here today, and I feel so excited about it, Mr. Conscious Kurt. You want to say hi to the people, Kurt?
Hello. Greetings. Namaste. Thanks for having me, Miss Brigitte. Hope we could get some good information going through here.
Right, right. I know we will. I know we will. I'm excited. So today, because he often talks about love and healthy relationships on his platform to his people, I wanted to talk about that on my channel. That's really where I left off on my videos before I kind of like went to TikTok and took a pause. And I want to talk about healthy love because he seems to get it. Because, like, I feel like in our journey, we have levels to all things. There's levels to being a vegan, there's levels to consciousness, there's levels to love and relationships. And so, for someone to be at this particular level stood out to me. So I have some questions, and he and I are going to answer the questions, maybe to help other people in their journey to evolve to their highest self. But before I do that, do you want to send out your TikTok and your YouTube channel or website or anything?
Um, Let me share this link. Let me see if I can share this link with you.
Because I could put it in the comments. I do have my banners up here to show your information here.
Let me see.
And maybe talk about your journey too, how you got to this place where you can share, because it seems like you speak from experience. At the end of the day, it's like words don't teach. It's like the life experiences teaches us. So maybe you could share that also before we dive into the questions we have.
Okay. So you say about my journey, about my
About your journey of, getting to this place where you feel as though you know this to be true. Like how does it resonate with you in a sense?
so we all have programs and we all have these belief systems that um since we were born we were taught all these things. A man should be this, a woman should be this, we should have this belief, we should have these thoughts, we should think this way, do this way, act this way. And I've done that all my life until a certain point when I realized it was no longer working for me because it wasn't mine. It was someone else's. It was someone
Right.
else's. So it wasn't working. So I had to, when I realized that my life was in kind of chaos, it was chaotic. I was doing the man thing, the society man thing, chasing this and doing that. And I realized it's time. It's time to stop. So I had to look at myself. I had to look at myself. I took a long look at myself and what I was doing and realized that each action has consequences.
Right.
And once you realize that action has consequences, you begin to actually recognize your power, right?
Yes.
Because if I do this, if I do A, B happens. And if I do B, C happens. So it kind of make you kind of stop, slow down, and realize what you're doing. So I've come to this point in my life that I become aware to everything that I do. So I control my actions and I control my behaviors, even my
Yeah.
thoughts. So this is how I got to this point. So now that I have control over my own life instead of my ancestors or my mom or my dad telling me what to do, or society telling me what to do, or even traditions. I actually do exactly what I want to do.
Right.
So that's where am I now?
Right. And that's really what consciousness is, being aware of it.
That's it.
Okay. All right. Perfect. I appreciate that. So let's start with the first question. What is love?
What is love? Woo. So many people have all this definition of love. We have all this definition. We have all these thoughts and ideas. And to be real, we often hear God is love and love is this and when you're looking at love, people always go back to Corinthians, right? 13. Was it First Corinthians chapter 13? Love is pure, love is, but nobody, we know what love is, but we don't really experience love because we are taught that loving yourself, like before, we were always taught if you love yourself, it's conceit. Like, hey, you conceited. You talking about you love yourself. Because I remember one day, a long time ago, I said I love myself, and my mom was like, dude, you being conceited.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah. Yeah. That's
supposed to love
true.
myself, so I'm not supposed to love myself. How can I love you without loving me? But what is love? Love is the most simplest, but yet the hardest thing to do. It's the simplest when you have no judgment or no expectations of someone else. But it's the simplest when you actually know how to actually love is just accepting others for who they are. That's all love is accepting. And if you look at the Bible tells us love is just acceptance. If you accept someone, you won't judge them. You won't want to change them. You won't
I
want
agree.
to, you won't be mean to them or disrespectful to them because
I agree.
acceptance is just, I recognize you. And that's why I use this term namaste. The God in me bows down to the God in you.
To the
Therefore,
God
we
in
are
you.
one God. We are one entity. If I
Right.
acknowledge that, love would be very easy. It would be very simple. But instead, we have judgment, we have expectations, we have a whole bunch of anger and frustration and resentment. So it's hard to accept someone fully. You know what I mean? So love is very
Mm.
simple. At the simplest, love is just the ability to accept someone for who they are. Or not just someone, something, idea, an object, your children, or whatever else. Many of us could love our children, but we can't love anyone else. We see our children.
Yeah.
I mean, no matter how bad they are, whatever they go to prison or they did a crime.
Right. And that's the unconditional love that we have for the children.
But if you look at love, like when you look at the Bible term love, there's no unconditional or conditional. There's just love, period. It's just
Right.
what
Right. Right.
we human, we like to put label and differences and we levels to everything. In all
Right.
reality, love is just love. It's just one. That's the love that we should have for everyone. The same.
Right.
See what I'm
Right.
saying? But
I
what would you
agree.
say?
I was agreeing. I agree.
But to me, that's what love is. It is very simple, but yet it's the hardest thing to do because we have all this programming. We have all this pre-programming that we grew up with. Have you ever grew up in a church when you hear someone said, "Well, God said I should love you, but I don't have to like you." Like you hear all this stuff again?
Right. Right.
And that's the program. And then of course, we heard that before, so we say the same things because we heard it.
Yeah.
So we think that it's okay. How do you love someone without liking them? How do you
Right.
love someone? Even in relationships, we do this. We don't like who we're with, but we love them. I think that's just
Yeah.
confusion. I think it's
Yeah.
confusion.
That is so true. Now I've heard that one a lot.
Yeah. I
And
think
as far as for me in answering that same question, what is love? Yeah. I look at love as a being. I look at us all as being love. I believe that if we want to talk about God and the totality of what God is, I believe God is the most powerful form of love energy that there is. And because of that, we ex- being expressions of God made in so-called God's image, or little increments of that love that's just in the physical reality having a human experience. And so we are being love. Our being is love. And so when we deviate in our physical reality from being love, which we are, we have an emotion as an indicator that we are not being love. So for example, when we are, being hateful, we'll feel hate, we'll feel jealousy, we'll feel envy or whatever. We'll have a feeling that is separate from our being of love. And so that feeling is letting us know that we're not being what we are. And so even like, for example, I consulted with a lady who had a grudge with someone for years. And even though she had this grudge with this person, she was having this feeling, this need to want to know how this person was doing. Something happened in this person's life where they got ill. And so she reached out to them, and they got, they got connected again. And it felt so good to this person. This person just literally cried because they were trying to hold on to the feeling of hate, of being angry with that person. But it felt so good to connect back to being love once again. It felt so peaceful because at the end of the day, that is what that person is. But we in the physical reality, we don't want to express our love unconditionally to others because of the fear of maybe rejection, being hurt, or maybe not having enough love to give them and give yourself at the same time because you low on love for self. But that's what I think love is.
I mean, that's a good point. I think many of us are afraid to give because we don't really know how much we have inside. So we are afraid to lose a little bit that we have. So, I mean, why give to someone else? What if they don't give me back? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
what if they don't give us back? So, I mean, I think that's a good point.
Right.
That's a really good point.
Someone says that sounds simple, but to have no expectations of an adult is difficult.
I mean, when you look at expectations, like what are we expecting? I think, you know what? I think many of us expect others to be just like us. You know, our biggest mistake that we make in life is to expect others. Like if we give, we expect people to give to us. Whatever we do, we
Yes.
expect people to be just like us.
Yes.
And we have to understand that to love is based on who you are.
And
You
to
love
give without expecting, actually.
Yeah. I mean, it's you doing
If
what
that's who you are, yes.
Yeah. So if we wait for someone to fit our expectations before we love, then we're gonna always be looking for that love.
Right.
Because we're not supposed to look for love. We're supposed to be love. We are love.
Right.
It's who we are. So you love
Right.
anyways.
Right, definitely.
Yeah. Hey, Crone, how are you?
Wrong Goddess says our very essence is love. I agree. Someone says, finally, I found the channel. Okay, so the next question I have, why do people express love differently?
Why do people express love differently? Why do people express love differently? People express love differently because it's what they were taught. Everybody has a different meaning of what love really is. They have a completely different meaning.
That's true.
Like if you ever heard someone speak, like somebody who has been hurt, you would hear people say things like, love don't exist. It's hard to find love. Oh, you hear people say stuff like, especially love don't exist. Like you hear that so much. There's no love no more in this world. And when you speak about there's no love no more in this world, you speaking about you and how you feel and how you express yourself and what you've experienced. Because it's impossible for love not to be here. Those same people have
Exactly.
children. Yeah, they have children, they have pets, they have all these things. If love don't exist, then how can you love? So
Right.
I think we look at love as a small, just like this simple, limited thing. This simply. So if I call you every night, that means I love you. You know what I mean? Like if I give you all my attention that I have in the daytime, that means I love you. But if you
Right.
don't, then you can't love me because that's not love. And we fail to realize that love is love is a huge thing. Why do we express love differently? We express love differently because we don't understand what love is. Our limited minds is so hard to grasp the fact that love is so huge, but we can only understand it in this limited. We base love on our experience. We love based on our experience. We base love on how we were given love when we were, as children. We base love on how we feel. Hey, Chrome goddess. We base love according to just what we think love is. So we grow up not really realizing what love really is. I think love is just too big to explain. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
Right.
people base it on feelings. They go on how they feel that day. That's why we express it differently. Because if you go by how you feel that day, you're gonna express it how you feel that day. Then tomorrow,
Right.
when you're feeling the same, you're gonna always change it. You know.
Yeah.
But I think that's
That's
why we look different.
that's true. I think you done with your part of answering that question. I
Yes.
didn't want to interrupt. I'm sorry.
You good? Let me turn my light on. I'm
Okay.
listening.
Okay. For me, answering that question, why do people express love differently? I I think my simple answer to that is simply because people vibrate at different frequencies. And a person really can only love you based upon what they have, you know? Like like if some people, like even our parents, our parents have been through so many things, how they talk about how they came up and they had to walk in the snow and go through slavery and our grandparents and all. And so they might not have experienced that much of love, so to speak, from their parents. And maybe some of them didn't even have that love and that guidance and attention. But yet and still they love with what they have.
Yeah.
They love based upon their understanding of love. And sometimes their understanding of love might be tough love. Sometimes, like, how like they'll have parents that, the father maybe beat the mother or something like that. And then the little boy, he has anger issues and he start beating his girlfriends or whatever. In his sick mind, I seriously believe that that's his way of expressing his sick kind of love because that's all he has and that's all he knows. So that's my answer. What do you think about that?
I think that makes sense based on experience because I think what was given to us as children is how we view. Like Bridget, have you ever been told from your mother or from your grandmother something that you hold dear, like deeply in your heart, and no one else could? I mean, like she has. I mean, like for a fact, she has to be right because that's your mother. That was your teacher. That was your goddess. That was the highest
Right.
level that you've known. And I think many times, as we were taught certain things as we were growing up, that's what sticks with us. So
Right.
I show my son love based on what I know
Based
or
upon
what
what you
my mom
know.
taught me. I show my daughter love based on what I thought my daughter wants. What I saw my mother did to my daughters. So
Right.
we express love based on what we think. Oh, love really means, but love is.
Right.
And who says not love? If you say it's love, it's love, right? If that's your intention,
Right.
is it love?
And not only what we think they need, sometimes what we think that we didn't, well, I guess it's the same, just saying it different. We see what we didn't have and we
Yeah.
want to give our children that thing even the more. Because, like I know in my life personally, I tried to give that kind of love that I didn't have, you know? So,
Someone said the one who teaches you most about love is the one who didn't show you.
that makes a hell of a lot of sense.
We learn the most from love from the people who didn't love us.
Who
Like
didn't
we
love us.
learn, yeah. That's
You're
just how
right.
many of us were taught what love really is. So that's what we go by.
And I'm thinking about you. You're so right about that. You could apply that to like the relationships that didn't turn out so well, and that person seemingly hurt your heart. That
Yeah,
hurt kind of like really taught you, more than
yeah,
that person that you were just in love with, and everything was just so right. You really
yeah,
learned from that person that maybe seemingly hurt you. I don't want to do this next time. I'm going to be
yeah.
stronger in this area next time.
Even my father left me. I never saw the guy until I was 16. I saw him one time in my life. But now that I know he left me, I express love to my children based on what he did. I'm doing opposite. If that's how I know love to be, then that's how I have to show it. Now, my father left me, so I will never leave my children. So, I mean, he never
Right.
calls, so I call him on a regular basis. So I'm expressing what I was missing. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Okay, so listen to this one here. This SCF painting and balloon art is really want to chime in on this question. This person asked it in two different ways here. First, he says, is there a difference between expectations and standards? And then right here we have, are you saying expectations cannot be applied to the concept of love? You want to answer that?
So expectations cannot be applied. Listen, I'm not saying that expectation is a bad thing. We meet like, okay, like for instance, we all like you said before, we all vibrate on different frequencies. With the level of frequencies that somebody vibrate on, then you expect them to do certain things, or you expect them not to do certain things. So expectations is very normal. We expect certain people to do certain, like for instance, I expect a thief to steal. I just expect them to steal. So
Right.
my expectation, and if you don't, okay, that's good. But
Right.
if you do, I'm not surprised because that's what I expect.
Right.
Um, the thing about expectations, though, sometimes who you expecting things from, don't we are left confused because we're expecting certain things from different people. Many of us expect love from people who don't know how to love, or who
Right.
have
Definitely.
issues, yeah, or who have issues expressing love. We express love from, we expect love from hurt people. If you enter a relationship with someone who just got divorced, someone who is hurt and who's angry, who's resentful, and who's miserable, how can you pull love from that person?
Right.
So but yet we expect love because love me. What's wrong with me? Why ain't you loving me? That person is
Right.
not capable at that moment to give love. So we have to look at how somebody vibrates, what frequency that they're on, before we expect anything else from them. And when our expectations don't happen, we can't be discouraged or we can't be angry because expectations is sometimes is the devil because you expect things. Sometimes people don't have those things.
Ooh, some weight expectations is a devil sometimes. Wow, I never heard it being put like that before.
For
Yeah.
real, that's what breaks us. Expectation is what breaks us. It breaks us. I'm not saying it's
Wow.
wrong to expect, but know who you're expecting certain things from. Don't expect them just because they're in a relationship with you to do right. Expect it because that's a frequency that they are actually vibrating on. So just because I'm with you, Bridget, if I'm with you, it doesn't mean that you expect good things from me because I'm with you. Because it's not you that define who I am. It's my frequency that defines me even more. So now you have to expect, if I'm on a low frequency, expect me to do low frequency crap, even though I'm with you. Even though you think that you are the highest level of woman or relationship partner, the frequency I'm vibing on is only this low, or this high. So I'm not doing what I do
I
because of
see.
you. I'm doing what I do because of me.
Because of you. I see. I see. Wow. I never thought about it that way. Interesting.
What do you think?
Well, in my programming, even still, I have expectations. Some, not
Yeah.
all. I don't have that I don't know, that fairy tale type expectation, but just like the question, was it different from standards? It's like just certain things that I just won't deal with, regardless of what frequency you on. Even if I know that you may be lower frequency than me, those
Yeah.
standards are still there. And so I do still in my program have some, but I have been challenged too, because I'm all about evolving to my higher self. So I have been challenged in the area of relationship to be and not have any expectations. And that does feel good. That does feel more at peace if I were to compare the two. Just to have no expectations and just be. And I know this lady that I follow, this lady Abraham Hicks. she would often talk about this, and she would say the perfect relationship is like, I like you like me, let's see how this goes. That's what she would always say about relationships or whatever. And I think that's really, really cool, because basically what she's saying there is we shouldn't have these limited expectations. We should just be free to love. And you know, but I'm just not all the way, I won't say I'm 100% there yet, but I understand it all.
I mean, I understand.
I do
I mean, we all
understand.
have expectations, but like you said, standards and expectations are two different things.
Hmm.
You know, like for instance, standards. At this level of my life, I look for a certain standard too, because I don't want. And to me, standards is a level of frequency or way where you vibrate in it. Your standard
Right.
should be an adult, somebody that carries themselves, taking responsibility for themselves or their actions or accountability for their own
Right.
life.
Right.
That's my. If a person is doing that, then you understand its consequences to your actions, so you know how to act right. You know
Right.
what I mean? So that's just how it is.
Right. They can't give what they don't have. I totally agree with that.
That's
Totally
facts.
agree. So the next question here is, are there negative effects of guarding our hearts? You know how people put up a wall, so to speak, after they had maybe a broken heart? Do you think there's negative effects towards
There's a
that?
whole there's a whole lot of negative effects. Um, you can just listen. You cannot protect your heart by acting like you don't have one. You know what I mean? You cannot protect your heart by acting and behaving like many of us now in our society now. You know how we brush feelings off? Oh, F feelings. Forget feelings. Oh, I'm feeling some feelings. Let me step the hell out. You know what I mean? And that's just our that's how we think that we're protecting ourselves based on not have feelings anymore. But you cannot
Right.
protect your heart by acting like you don't have one.
Right.
When you build up walls, and I said this before to my followers on TikTok, when you build up walls, all you're doing is you locking yourself inside. And as you vibrating, as you are vibrating behind these walls, your vibrational frequency cannot go beyond your walls. So whatever you are feeling or whatever you want, do not pass those walls. They are confined to you. So your feelings don't go elsewhere. Connect to other people with that same frequency and bring those people to you. They can't go beyond your walls. So you're locking yourself up. You are caging yourself inside these walls. A lot of us,
Hmm.
what we do when we get heartbroken, what we even do, we lock up all these feelings, all these
Right.
negative frequencies, all this negative pain. I mean, this pain, this suffering. As we get hurt, we close our hearts around those pain. We don't allow the pain to go through, so it to be over with. You know what I
Right.
mean? So
Right.
we just close up. Because it's a real is an energy center. And when we close the center around this pain and this suffering, what we do, we become more angry, we become more resentful, we become more mean, we become more rude, more bitter because it's growing. 'Cause it's locked up in this small center, so it's
Right.
growing and it's growing and it's growing. When you
Right.
build in those walls, you're the one who's suffering from it. You're the one who suffer.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? Because energy is supposed to go through and through. You experience it, you feel the pain, and then you let it go.
You
When
so
you build
right.
those walls, you are becoming those frequencies. You are becoming that negative that anger that you hold inside. You become that. So you become what you now you're suffering because the pain is not having places, it's not flowing freely outside your walls. So it's staying within the confinement of your walls. So you're gonna suffer.
Right.
So let the stuff go. It's for you.
Yeah. And a lot of people, when they're there, though, they don't see it that way.
No.
Because I've been there and I was thinking about what you were saying. And I'll just share a little bit of my story. My wall came up because of little girl issues, you know. My dad and my mom divorced when I was 5 years old. And I have older siblings who experienced him more than I did. And I would often feel so left out on the daddy, the little girl experience. And so, he would come on weekends in the beginning of the divorce. He would come every weekend and take us out. It was really, really cool. But it came to a point where the weekend visits were no more. And I really, really just wanted my daddy. I remember I used to cry in the closet all the time. I used to write love letters and stuff. We had bars on my bedroom window, and I found the key of the bar, and I would just leave out of the window sometimes to go take a walk. Like, I would put my head out this bar of the window because our house was like really close to the corner, just to look to see if he was coming. And when he didn't come, I got my little key and I just went and took a walk. And I was just angry. And so everybody would tell me, "Oh, get over it. Suck it up. You gonna be all right." And so when I came out of my room, I tried to have that face as if I was a big girl. I wanted to be a big girl, but I was stuffing in some anger and the attention that I wanted from what I thought was supposed to be my first love, and that was supposed to be there for me. So I built up a wall with everything, everybody. Oh, but I thought this wall was protecting me. I thought this wall was the thing that was stopping me from ever gonna, be in a position to get hurt by any man, by any friend, by my siblings, by whatever, because I was gonna be tough now. And this wall was like my barrier. But that was until I started getting sick, because I believe energetically when we hold on to that anger and that hurt or that pain in our heart, we create dis-ease or disharmony within ourselves. And so then I became really sick. I mean, just like common cold, just like my cycle, was horrible and, just like weak all the time, going to the doctors not knowing what's going on with me, all the tests coming back fine, but I was just always sick. And now in hindsight, it's just, I feel as though it was me, my energy, and where I was in my heart that was causing this ease to myself. And it wasn't until I let that hurt go and made peace with my father and called him actually one day and said, "You know what, Daddy, it would have felt so good if you would have been in my life. It would have felt amazing if you would have been at my graduation, at my marriage, at my wedding to walk me down the aisle. That would have been so good. I wish you knew my favorite color. I wish you played with Barbies with me and my little Cabbage Patch doll with me. But, I just want you to know that I simply love you because you are my father." And I promise you all, it was that pivotal moment in my life where everything changed for me. It was like the K9, the wall, the fence, the knife, everything that was blocking my heart, the brokenness, it was all mended. So what I'm saying here, why I'm being transparent with that story, is because maybe somebody else has that story. And you might feel as though that wall is protecting you, but that very wall that you built to protect you is the very wall that's stopping you from experiencing love. And the totality of love is blocking you and others from wanting to love you as well because they see your wall. And your wall is repelling them away. And so it is creating a place of isolation for you. And so I would encourage you to take the barrier off of your heart and love again and let it go. I'm not saying that to do that for Daddy, though. I'm saying that to do that for yourself, because you ultimately are in need of your love more than anything. And so I encourage you not to block it. Okay, I went a little deep. I'm sorry. Wait, I can't hear you now. What happened to the sound?
I'm sorry, but
Okay.
But that's what we do. We build these walls and expect somebody to climb over it to meet us. We build these walls and expect the man who loves me or the woman who loves me is gonna climb those walls just to. No, I ain't climbing the walls to nobody. We are grown.
Yeah.
You tear your walls down. You repair yourself. You heal, and then you are ready. But if you have walls up, it's because you're still in danger. You still not healed. So therefore, you're still not ready.
Right.
So I'm not. So
Right.
me taking my time to climb over your walls. No, you're still not ready by the time I get up there. So I'm gonna put in all this work. I'm gonna put in all this work. Right? I'm gonna struggle. I'm sorry. I got mine.
That's okay. They're saying hi to her.
But you know what I mean. But to put in all these work, and then when I get over your wall, you still ain't ready. Oh no, I'm going back over. Like, okay, I seen the attraction. It was cute, but I gotta go. I ain't staying here.
Right. Right.
We sometimes decrease ourselves and to increase. That's man.
To increase another person. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Oh, goddess. That's a grand ice.
Hey,
Oh,
make sure
you're
you follow me
welcome.
on this
You're
live.
welcome.
You follow me on this live, so y'all can view me and view the other person who was on here too.
Right.
But yeah, love is. Relationships, man. Like we be going to some things and some hurt and some anger and some resentment, and we think it's normal. Well, let me just stay angry so that nobody could
Right.
actually get me. You hurting yourself.
Right. You're really hurting yourself. You really are. You
Whatever
really are.
walls you build, it confines you. It confines you. You're in prison. The walls that you build, you are in prison to those walls. And you know what though? If your frequency can't leave your walls, guess what? Other people's frequency outside those walls can't touch you either. So somebody
Can't
might
reach
even
you.
be showing you, they might even be showing you love, but they can't reach you because you're blocking it. You
Right.
can't process love, you can't feel love, you can't recognize love. All you can recognize is your same pain that you have locked up within your heart. So
Right.
everybody's a cheater, everybody's a liar, everybody's this,
Right. Right.
that's what you're feeling inside. And
And
instead
you
of
have to you have to get to a point where you're over that too, that thought process, because that could hinder you in relationships when you think it on that low frequency thought. You have to surpass that. So now I'm at a place in my journey that it doesn't matter. I'm going to love anyway because I am love. And I talk about that on my channel too, how how in my journey of dating per se, I would go in with that thought in mind. Like, like for example, if you're dating someone who you may know is selfish or whatever, you know about this person, you know he might be all about himself or pretty Ricky or whatever. I would just on purpose in the dating experience, I would mess with that particular person just for me, not for him, for like 2 weeks or whatever, knowing that he's selfish, knowing that he do whatever. But I will go in and I say, you know what, I'm going to love anyway, just to see how it feels. And I will put a time limit on it, just to know that I had that experience. And really what I was doing was my self-work. It wasn't about him. It wasn't about trying to change him, because, women often go in relationships. They want to change people. People show you who they are and you should believe them. So it wasn't about changing them. It's about me being able to just be loved no matter what. You're not going to stop me from being what I am, no matter what you're doing. And so by me practicing that, what the reason behind the logic behind that is, if I get on that frequency where nothing can shake me, then it's almost like I'm creating a domino effect that everybody in my physical reality that I'm experiencing, they have to send love back to me, because I'm increasing my frequency to just be in love. So I'm going to experience the reflection of that which I am. So no longer am I going to receive those selfish men in my life. I'm going to start receiving men who already are on the love frequency, who are already confident and worthy, So I was like creating my reflection by staying on my frequency, because if you stay on that frequency where you want to be, you'll cause others to step up. And then the ones that can't step up, they will disappear from your physical reality.
You're right. That's facts. That's facts. When you become love, the love itself, you don't get hurt as much, because your expectation, like I said, you don't just because you give in love, people are gonna do what they want to do regardless. It's like
Right.
Christ. It's like the whole Christ concept. He was love. He didn't care what you did, what you say, how you hated him, what you think about him, what you think about his father. He was
Right.
just expressing love. He was the expression of love. So when he wasn't hurt, he wasn't sensitive, he wasn't expecting you to love him back because that's not what he wanted. He just wanted to give who he was, which is love. Because all
Yeah.
love is the ability to accept and yet to give. The action
Yes.
behind it is given. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But I think it's pretty deep.
That's so true. So true.
But we
Okay, so
so afraid.
last question here. When we become love, is it possible for others to hurt us?
Huh. Of course, we're gonna get hurt because we're still living in a human experience. Even though we become love and we want to express love and we express love by itself, pain still is a part of our human experience.
Right.
Because sometimes you want people, or we expect people to love us back. Certain people, the people that we are with in relationships, intimacy, our parents, our siblings, our family, our blood relatives, we expect them to act a certain way or to love us back. So when they don't give us what we expect, because we're still human, we still want love back, even though we are completely love itself and we become the totality of love, if that's possible. We still want
You still want it back.
you still want it back. You still want to be treated with respect from certain people. You know what I mean? People in your life, specific people. You still want to be treated with respect and honored and to be sacred to them or to be shown love or to be shown intimacy. We still want those things.
That's
And when we don't get it,
interesting. That's interesting, your answer. That's
why?
so interesting to me. So
Why?
you think you could get hurt?
Of course, we're still living in the human experience. Because can you become completely love while on this journey? I don't know. I can't say
Okay,
yes.
let me ask you this. Okay, so you think God can get hurt though?
God, if God is a totality, like you say, all is God, then hurt is God too. I mean, love is God.
I see where you're going with that.
I mean, he said, I'm a jealous God. I mean, that means I feel bad. That means I have thoughts that if you're not with me, you're against me. So therefore, I am jealous. That's feeling. That's emotion. We think God don't get jealous, but in reality, if He is everything, or if it is everything, then everything has to be Him. You know what I mean? Who knows? I don't know. So I can only tell you from my limited mind, just like how we
Right,
all can.
right. But no, I'm just trying to figure out your thought process.
But I
That's
think
very
we could get hurt.
interesting.
Yeah, I think we could. I think we get hurt from specific. So now, when we become love, here's what I think. A lot of people. I think I'm hearing myself. Am I hearing myself?
No, I can hear you good. There's no echo on my
Okay.
end.
I think when we become love, we don't expect everyone to love us. We don't expect the audience. Like people looking at me right now. We don't expect everyone to love us. You know what I mean? We don't care if they do. It doesn't
Right.
change who we are. Random people, like people who come on your TikTok or your YouTube and disrespect you, you're like, hey, it's okay. I don't take offense to it. I'm not mad at you. People on Facebook, social media, strangers, you're like, okay, it is what it is. I'm not. However, of course, your husband, your wife, your girlfriend, your mother, your father, these jokers, the ones that we love, the ones that we put on a pedestal, because we put people on a pedestal. We do naturally, it's nature. Those ones have the ability to F with you a little bit. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right, right, right. Yeah, yeah. I agree with that. I
Yeah.
agree
So
with that. Yeah,
yeah,
I see. Hmm.
I believe they can still hurt us. I believe we are still hurt. I think the journey is so long to get to that full bloom love. Everybody say, I love myself, I love this, I love this. But in all reality, love is a process. Especially, okay, we are born in love. We are love. But our understanding has been tainted. Our understanding of love and who we are has been messed up. Our expectations have been messed up. So a lot of times we have to get back to the point. So to get back to the point of before we existed in this physical reality, baby, can you know what? Sorry. To get back to the place that we once were, we have to go through this physical life and physical experience, and That's hurt.
Okay, so let me share this with you. You let me know what you think. Okay, let's see. Wait, let me look at these comments. Yes, God got hurt when he was in human form. Okay, I see. We live with her, but we feel all things. Okay. Hello. Okay, so I kind of have a different outlook on that because I don't think that God per se can get hurt. So when you become love, is it possible for others to hurt you? In knowing that love is the most powerful form of energy that there is, I look at it like this here. People that's trying to hurt are on a low frequency themselves. So I feel like that frequency cannot penetrate to God. You know, like love is the most powerful form of energy that there is. And so a person that's trying to hurt you at a low frequency, just like the other day, for example, my son came in from playing basketball and he telling me how he was shaking the guys on the court or whatever. And there was one guy that got really, really mad with him because my son was supposedly scoring on him. He was like, Mom, he was so mad. And in his anger, I was just smiling and it's like I had him. It was like because he was so angry, I don't know how I was getting all the 3 points on, 3-point shots on him, whatever. And it was so cool. I just felt like I was invincible. And I said, yeah, because of the simple fact that he was at low frequency, and high frequency always trumps over that. You sit up there with that hurt, and somebody on a higher frequency can always trump you. So why I mentioned that to say that in relationships, like even like with the game and stuff, when you are exuding that totality of God, when you've mastered the game and you have love for yourself and your cup runneth over and you're really only giving people your overflow of love in a way so you still have some for you, I don't believe that they can hurt you. I believe if anything, you just help them along their journey. You just sprinkle some little seeds to help them along their journey, and you still could love them without them. You can still move on without them. And I think you're invincible, so to speak.
So, okay, right. So we could actually think that way. But in all reality, who has experienced that? Have you experienced that yet?
Have I?
Yeah, have you experienced that? Have you experienced not being hurt because you love? Think about what I'm asking you. Have you experienced
on
that?
purpose? Yes, I have. Now, I'm not a pro at it, but on purpose, yes, I have. I've been in a relationship like this here.
I'm just talking about. I ain't just talking about one specific time. I'm talking about, and like now that you become love, don't you get hurt still? Because let's talk about. Now that you become love, don't you get disappointed?
I get disappointed. Yeah.
That's hurt. That is a form of hurt. Don't you get upset still?
But the mere fact that I've evolved and increased, so to speak, my frequency, even though I get the disappointments and I get the hurt, because like you said, we are the totality and we are feeling everything. It's like they say in spirituality or religion, well, when you have that spiritual buoyancy, well, if you fall down, you bounce back up. So each time you fall down, you're falling down to a lower frequency, so to speak, and you bounce back up even greater and greater and greater. So that low frequency start feeling less, and it lasts, shorter increments at a time, is what I'm saying.
Let me ask you a question. Let's have a discussion. Okay.
Here we go.
What makes up a cell? Our cells. We have 50 trillion cells. What makes up one cell? Okay. Let's say a cell. An atom. What atom? What makes it up?
Freezing up. I feel like the root of it all is all energy.
Energy. And which kind of energy? Is it just positive charge?
It's both. It has to be both
It has
positive
to
and
be both.
negative.
It has to be both. It
Right,
has to
right,
be both,
right.
right? It has to be both. So when we look at God, we only see one side of God. Now, if God is a totality of everything, if there's no good without bad, and there's no bad without good, how do we know when someone or something is doing something right or wrong? As far as our own labels, how do we understand? If there's no pain within your body, how do you know if you're sick or not? You will never know.
I see where you're going. I see.
We
I see.
we
That's a
have
great
to
example.
understand.
I see.
You know what I mean? Because we have to understand and we have to actually realize that the human experience, we have to go both ways. And if we are God, then we have to understand not to limit God. You know, we say God is love, but we don't say God is anything else. God, if we look at the Bible, God created this world and he destroyed it too. Why? Why did he destroy it?
Yeah.
Was he hurt or was
Because
he just
God is all. Because it's going back to what you're saying. Because God is all. Yeah.
so I mean, was he not I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying I know this, but for you to take your creation and say, man, I'm gonna destroy every damn thing, bam, start over.
This is what I'm trying to say, though. Once we ascend to a certain level, some things can't reach us.
Some things, yeah, some things, some things,
Do you
some
agree
things.
with that part, though?
Yeah, of course I agree. Of course I agree. I agree to that wholeheartedly. But what I'm trying to tell you is this right here. Until we have come to this point in our own lives, we don't know.
Okay.
Do I agree with you? I agree with you. I do agree with you when you say if I love that much, then probably we won't hurt. But until we got to that point, I haven't experienced that yet. I ain't reached there yet, so I don't know. I have no idea. I'm okay by saying I don't know. That's one thing. If I don't know, I just don't know. But if I don't experience it, I don't
Right.
know.
Yeah. That's
So
interesting.
I think we don't want to put the human effect in love, but the love has to be a human effect too. And human beings are capable of giving love. Completely perfect. We are capable of giving perfect love. We just think that love is this thing that is perfect. Is love perfect? Yes, but what is perfection? We have to actually understand what is perfection. Perfection is that negative and that positive energy. It has to be both.
Yeah. I see. I totally agree. I
And
totally
maybe I'm
agree.
wrong because I don't know either.
No.
God
No.
can
I
be wrong.
mean, this look at what Chrome Goddess is saying here. I don't believe God can get hurt or jealous, but we can because we are in a natural earthly body. What do you think about that?
I can understand. I could understand that. But again, Bridget, let me ask you a question, right? What body is God in? What does God express? He expressed to us. We express to him. Listen, there is no separate God. There's no separate God. God is us. God is in us. God, we live God. We live God all day. That's what we do. We live God all day.
Yeah, that seems like a little bit of a separation there, but
So yeah,
wow.
I mean, God is energy. What is energy? Positive or negative charge? It has to be
It
both
all
sides.
goes back to that. Even when we look at it like that, it all goes back to that positive and negative charge, so both
It,
sides
it,
of it.
it
And I
has to.
understand that because I already understand, the laws of polarity and, the law of
Yeah.
rhythm and all. It
You
just
know what?
somewhere, no, listen, let me tell you though, somewhere in my mind, this is what's my block. Somewhere in my mind, I feel as though we have other dimensions, so to speak. And there is, like, we're here in this so-called earthly realm. But I feel with all my knowing that there are other realms and dimensions where it is just pure positive light and love, so to speak. There, maybe. And so I feel like we're forever evolving. So I feel that we're capable of just being pure love and of nothing negative ever penetrating us. I know we still have this universe here where we're governed underneath this positive and negative. But a larger part of me feels like there's a roll up, so to speak.
I understand.
Where you can't mess with me because I'm God. I don't care if you positive, negative, you neutral. I don't care what you are. You can't mess with me. You can't penetrate with me because I'm God. I have arrived, and that's what I hold on in my program. I mean, it may sound corny, but
I understand. I mean, do I agree with you? I agree. I'm not saying I disagree. I completely understand what you're saying.
yeah.
I mean, I'm not against. Listen, I don't know. So I can't say I agree or disagree. I could just say I understand what you're saying. It makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense. But until we get to that point, we don't know. We cannot
Yeah.
know.
We really don't.
You know what I mean? We just think.
And when you think you know, you really have no idea,
Because we don't know. I'm telling you, the human experience, we look at life completely separate from God. God is life. And we have the ability to express every single thing that we want to express. If we have the ability to express everything, then who's to say that the creator doesn't?
Right.
I mean,
Look at this. Hurt is not always negative. It just always feels that way.
I like that. Why do I like this comment? I like that comment. I really do. I really do. It's deep.
It's negative.
I gotta wrap my head around it, but it's very, I could.
Yeah.
Because negative is a label that we put because we don't understand.
We put that there. Yeah.
Yeah. So hurt is needed. Like it's like pain. We think pain is negative, but without our pain receptors, we won't know what's good or bad for us either. We be walking on fire or walking in a nail and don't even know that our feet is bleeding.
Right. And it even reminds me of like when people look at hurt as far as somebody dying is concerned, or even leaving a relationship or just any type of abandonment. We might look at that as negative, but going back to the positive and negative, if there is negative that exists from that experience, there has to be some type of positive, or there has to be some type of good, because it's all two-sided.
It's all two-sided. Every cell is two-sided. Every cell in your body is a negative and positive charge. Every molecule, atom is all both. So what is God? God is just not one. God cannot be one side and made us two sides. It is impossible. It's impossible. I believe it's impossible.
Okay, wait. Look at listen to this thought process here. Maybe I'm on to something here, maybe I'm not. So what if, let's just imagine or say what if for a moment here. What if God really is that positive? And to experience itself, it split itself. You see? It split itself into negative and positive to have its own experience with itself, to have a high of itself and a low of itself. But itself is that positive.
What if no such thing exists as positive or negative? What if that's just neutral? What if we just label the crap that we don't understand as positive or negative? What if the whole book works?
I mean, go ask me a question, but I'm asking you a question, though.
I'm just saying. What if the positive negative? Right. What if it's just a neutral? What if God is just neutral? And what if we express it in whatever way we choose, which is anger, jealousy, whatever else?
Yeah, because that's still God. That's still those people that are on that frequency are still God. They're just vibrating low at that time.
There's
always God.
Yeah, there's only one energy. There's only one. It's only one energy.
It's only one.
Express it however you want to express it. So I mean, we try to understand God. We cannot understand God. We don't know what it's. We don't know what it is. It's impossible for a human existence, which is 40 years old of living, 50 years old, 60, 70 years old, to understand a concept or a being. I don't have any lollipops, Louis. Or a being that's millions and billions of years old. It's impossible. Right. We cannot even. So I could honestly say, I don't know. Give me 1 second again.
Yes, go ahead.
I don't have.
That is interesting. I never really thought about it like that. I see. That means the negatives. So have to be within to be separated in the first place. I agree. Speaking spiritual form. Huh. Look at this here. In Isaiah chapter 78 says, God was hurt and grieved by the Israelites. Wow. I never really thought about these things, really, to be honest, about God, about the biblical text saying those things about God grieving and being a jealous God, so to speak,
Yeah,
and put them
yeah,
together
yeah.
and putting them together in seeing the highs and lows of God in that way. I never really did. So that's like a eye opener for me here. I mean, I knew already that God was the totality of all. I looked at it, God being the author and finisher, the first and the last, the beginning and the end in the biblical text. But I never paid attention to the feelings that they were talking about, the jealousy, the grief and stuff with the Israelites, like this person just mentioned here. I never really,
Yeah, it's true. I mean because you cannot just you cannot just take your creation and just destroy everything if you just happy. Yeah, I mean happy thing.
if you just happy. You're right about that. Yeah, like the Solomon Gomorrah text, when everything was burned up, whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's just that I think with the God concept, it's you know what? Let me not even think about it because I don't know. I don't
Right,
know.
right. We're made in his image and we feel like he feels. Wow. Yeah.
I think that's a good point.
Yeah. And a friend of mine told me one day when I was, I guess, sad, low frequency, they were like, and I literally sat there and said, I'm sorry, because I like to be accountable for my energy if I know that it's low. And I was like, I'm sorry. And this person told me, why are you saying you're sorry? Just accept that. Just embrace that. It's okay. You know,
It's
because
true.
it's the totality of God. I guess on a conscious journey, we hear so much about this so-called love and light, and so we try to vibrate a little higher. I don't want to try
Right.
to vibrate and try to be perfect, but I like to at least try to be neutral and above and stay from those lows because of things like manifestations and stuff, things that you want to kind of like be on a higher frequency when you're doing those things. So it's really, even with that in mind, it's still really not a bad thing when you are underneath that neutral point. You just know you can't stay that long because you create down there too, and so you're gonna be creating some kind of
Right.
so-called low frequency things. So get your butt back up,
Bridget, we look at bad and good, and we don't realize that anger is not bad, resentment is not bad, frustration is not bad. There's nothing bad or good. What makes it bad is when we are not conscious of it.
Right, right,
What makes it bad is when we don't know it's there.
right.
What makes it bad is when we are okay with it being there for extended period of times. That's what makes it bad. But these things are not bad. So we think God being angry is a bad thing, or God being hurt is a bad. Nothing is bad. We just don't understand the complete. We just think we see things as just one way because that's how we understand it. That's how the human mind was taught by other humans who never understood who God is, who we think we understand. How can we understand something that we cannot see, we cannot feel, we can't hear? We don't know what this thing is that we call God. A matter of fact, do you know that this God that you have is what you created? You created God. Does that make sense?
Expand on that one for me.
You created it here.
In your
You,
mind, right? That's
it's
what you're
your
saying.
own thoughts and ideas and your standards and expectations that created your God. What if God is
Right,
nothing like what you think?
right. I agree.
So then, therefore, we could only give a definition of God from our own mind. We don't know what God is or if
Your
God,
own perspective, yeah.
no perspective. You don't understand it. So we don't know.
And for some of us, that wasn't really our own. Some of us, we carry down what our parents said God was.
Underground, yeah. We have We have handmade understanding and belief system. And we think we're right. We defend this right in our minds to be.
In our mind.
Yeah, I'm right. I
Right.
know for a fact I'm right. You're not right.
Right.
You know what I mean? I know for a fact because my grandmother, my great grandmother was the. Listen, I don't care what your grandmother was. I don't care what they. I don't care if your father was a preacher. He only could understand what he was taught.
What he was taught.
That's it.
You're right about that.
It's okay to say I don't know. That to be a human being is to actually acknowledge when you say I don't know and be proud of it. I don't know. Because a man who doesn't know seeks, and a man who thinks he knows
Definitely.
stays with that understanding, and it never changes. That's why you see people with the same belief system from the beginning to the end of their life. Same,
Right.
nothing.
And really, when you could accept that you don't know, it opens up other portals for you because you're asking your subconscious mind for that answer,
Exactly.
through thought, saying you
Exactly.
don't know. That's a
Exactly.
beautiful place to be. Being humble in the journey really helps you expand even more because we live in a boundless universe where there's no just one right and one wrong, so to speak. The rabbit hole runs deep in in understanding, in everything, in consciousness. It's always expanding. Always. There's not even an end to it because we're always creating. Through our thought, we're always asking for more.
Facts.
So we're never gonna get it because there is no it, so to
There's
speak.
no it to get. There's no it to get. It's only us. We are the it. Do you get yourself?
Right.
That's the question.
Right.
But there's no it. It don't exist.
Right. Cool.
That's pretty deep.
That's beautiful. I really enjoyed this conversation with you. I'm so happy we finally got a chance to go live together. Before you go, could you share what do you do? What is your passion? Out of all that you do via TikTok or YouTube, where do you want the people to connect with you at?
Wait, which question am I answering? What was my passion?
Where do you want people to support you at? Where are you more passionate about, the YouTube or the TikTok or your website?
TikTok would be a better place because I'm on there more. YouTube, I'm just starting out, so I don't really have much stuff on YouTube. But TikTok, if you find me at Conscious Kirk, it's Conscious Kirk, right? Yeah, it's my TikTok. Conscious Kirk is my TikTok. I call myself Conscious Kirk because I'm just Kirk, and I'm not smart. I'm just conscious. I'm not educated. I'm just conscious. I'm not wise. I'm just conscious. Meaning that I'm aware of certain energies or of energies, period. But TikTok would be the best place to see me on, and as long as you understand that I am everything, so I do everything on my content, and yet I am nothing at all because I don't have a label, then you might understand me because I am, simple. The simplest form of energy is me.
He's very simple and funny too, because some of those lives be really hilarious.
So that's where you'll find me on TikTok.
That's cool. And as for me, you can find those that are not my followers just yet. My website is on the screen, www.saltoftheearthpub.org. I am an author, publisher. I do consultations, personal consultations. I sell natural hair products, detoxes, beard oils, lotions, body butters, so much more on my website. And that's where you can email me at and book a personal consultation. My passion is really just helping people to evolve in their journey, because of life experiences that taught me. I like to help people increase their frequency in the areas of mind, body, and soul, because we're all on a journey to our higher self. And, I'm just trying to plant some seeds, and leave something behind, my carbon footprint. So that's my passion. That's what I really love to do more than anything. So check me out. Thank you so much, Mr. Conscious Kirk, for being here. I really appreciate you. I respect you and admire you and all that you do so much. And I am so happy that we were on the same frequency in order to connect on TikTok. Because really, honestly, I came there just to dance. I really wanted to do just a little dancing challenge, just to be. My name on TikTok is God is Just Be. And I just came there just to do a little dance. I was gonna dance, let my little video in my mind, my little dancing video was gonna go viral, and then I was gonna be a one-hit wonder. And then I was gonna leave. I was gonna leave TikTok. But when I got on there and I saw some of the women there, you know, because when you're conscious, you could see and read people. And I saw the people there, I was like, oh, maybe I should be talking over here. And then I saw you doing what I like to do. I was like, and so I started talking and doing stuff to help people and stuff and sending positive conscious messages and stuff on TikTok. Anyway, thank you so much, baby.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And she calls everyone baby, so that's what.
Oh yeah. I'm from New Orleans. Sorry, my dad.
She calls everyone baby, so don't have thoughts in your mind. That's just how she talks.
Sorry, Mr. Kirk.
Thank you for having me. This has been a great experience. You know what? I did some manifesting on these beads before my live. So you know, like these are mala beads, right? These are mala.
Oh, and you just wrap them around your wrist.
I wrap them around my neck inside my shirt, or I usually wrap them around my wrist. But I did a meditation before this. It took me about 30 minutes just to have peace, love, and calmness. That's why I wasn't so I put the energy inside these beads, because these beads are known to store energy, the energy that you manifest. And when you wear these beads, this energy, these are mala beads. This is actually real tree beads. When you wear them around your body, you keep this same energy that you put in there.
Right.
So, I wanted to be calm, and I wanted to just have love, and I wanted to just be at peace. So I think it worked for me. It really worked.
Yeah, it really did. You were calm in that piece or whatever. It was really cool. I'm like, oh, he's chilling. He laid back today. So good. How can I get some of those beads?
So I carry these beads. I carry different colors: the green, red, these ones. And if you just want the beads to do it yourself, that's about $13. But if you want my frequency, my energy, but not my energy, the energy that I put into it, as
the positive energy that you're putting in,
whatever energy that you want, which is wealth, health, peace and love and light and all these stuff. If you want those energies, or just a higher frequency, period, you tell me what you want, and I will. Because it's not my energy, it's God's energy. It's not me, it's God. So I just learned how to take the energy and put it in certain things. And so everything I wear have a certain frequency. This is wealth. I'm wearing my wealth here and my peace here. I'm wearing more peace and love here. So I keep asking me, why do I wear all these things? I wear these things to keep the energy around me, so I could surround myself with it. And my thing is, whoever comes about 2 feet from this feels it. So when you come in my presence, all you're gonna feel is peace. Understand this? Because this is what I carry. So that's why I like to carry stuff. So that's why I have my daughter with me. My kids are always on me, because they always feel my energy. That's why I always carry them.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Because all this energy, that's why you have to really be mindful of where you're eating at, in my opinion, where you're eating at, who you're having sex with, so to speak. All of that's still energy. What do you wear? Certain colors even is energy, you know? Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool. So on your website, I could order that. That's the Kurt.
Yeah, you can order the bead itself, but if you want the other stuff, you might have to. I don't have a price for each frequency on my website. That's something that you have to inbox me on.
Inbox you on TikTok?
Yeah, TikTok, or email me on my website. I believe I have an email.
Perfect. I'm gonna have to give me some beads. Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Kirk. They seem like they enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I know that.
I did too.
You opened up my mind to some things that I hadn't thought about. Thank you so much. Be blessed, baby. Be blessed. Look, I said babe again. I'm sorry. Be blessed, Mr. Kirk. Bye.
Thanks for looking.
Okay.